As you may know, our energy supply is not limitless. We're all doomed to die horribly when we eventually run out of fuel sources. Enjoy the post-apocalyptic world that'll be created when that happens! It's a precious resource, and we have to think seriously about how we're going to use it. No, it's also a precious resource? Proper grammar. And that comma splice is endangering it. Because poor literacy is rather unusual for a PSA.
Bill Jamas, or Hamas, I'm sorry, I don't know the pronunciation, who was president of Marvel at the time, made a bet with writer Peter David. The sales on Peter David's Captain Marvel series, and that's Marvel's Captain Marvel, not the DC one, comic books are confusing, were in heavy decline, and apparently it was believed that it was because the book was too self-referential and insular. Readers couldn't get into it because of backstory and references to other work. As such, the bet was centered around whose book would sell better in a promotion called You Decide. Because poor literacy creates books like Marville. Furthermore, what's Goldfinger going to do with the gold anyway? In the movie, he wanted to irradiate the USA's gold supply to make it worthless so his own gold had more value. If he takes this gold and puts it on the market, he'll just devalue everything. Goldfinger's not supposed to be this much of an idiot. But anyway, back to the actual story. I'm afraid things are about to hot up!
Because poor literacy is cool.
Yankee civilian still alive! Him maybe important official of government! I bring him to Wang Chu, maybe get reward! You know, I really don't get this kind of thing. Why would they be speaking broken English? I have to presume they're speaking Vietnamese to each other, and I would hope they could speak their own language with proper grammatical structure. Because poor literacy exists in all languages. I soon suspect that the highwayman has something to do with this. First from rocks falling down the side of a mountain, then a downed power line, and then an iceberg blocking their path, plus hail. Hail, US! Now it's hailing on us! That's not how hail is spelled. Because poor literacy is... Roger that, good buddy, 10-4. And so our comic ends with the image of Justice standing on the street, watching as the cops descend upon the drug warehouse. Silently, but with interest and curiosity. Wait, curiosity? Because poor literacy is just another superpower of Mr. T.
And since Kane knows that Strife is Cable, it confuses him even further.
This isn't right. The museum security cameras don't lie.
No one dares to second-guess the accuracy of museum security cameras.
I know, but Cable is Stife.
Wait, what? Stife? Stife? His name is Strife! I guess I shouldn't be surprised to see a typo in this mess, but come on! Oh, and for both Stife and Strife, spelled with a Y instead of an I.
Because poor literacy is cool.
And if you haven't seen the first movie, here's a slightly more detailed plot summary. In the future, humanity lives in a utopia thanks to philosophies espoused in the music of a group called Wild Stallions, spelled with a Y instead of I's. Because poor literacy is excellent!
And one last note on the credits. Gloria Vasquez is credited with coloring, or to be accurate, she's credited as the colorist. That's just close enough to sounding like a real job, like a coloring assistant, that I'm not going to mock it, but since it comes up under spell check, I am awarding it an honorary
because poor literacy is cool.
At the moment of creation, Al and his two friends, Lucy and Mickey, meet a young man named Jack, who may or may not be God. He takes them on a trip through time so they can witness the emergence of life on Earth. And they needed to be naked during this, or else it just ruins the whole thing. But they still can't figure out if life is random or created by design. And no period at the end of that sentence, despite all the other sections ending with one. Because poor literacy is... It's Marville. Poor literacy is the least of your problems. Species have fought for power for centuries. The Duck Empire is the longest to rule, but that may change. The Duck Empire. That was a thing that was just said. Gotta admit, I did not see the rise of the Duck regime. Everyone figured it'd be the seahorses that eventually took over, but me personally, I was rooting for the dung beetles. Also, the letterer put the comma after longest to rule on its own on the next line. Because poor literacy includes improper punctuation mark placement. The home team of Youngblood has just found the away team and the quote-unquote character named Prophet. If I were Shaft, I'd be asking how the hell that mask stays on Prophet's face like it does. Instead, Die Hard says that Prophet is fighting against a group called The Disciples, and Shaft says this. Prophets and disciples, huh? Sounds like the biblical equivalent of Armageddon to me. The biblical equivalent of Armageddon is Armageddon. The word comes from the Bible. It's like saying the biblical equivalent of Jesus. Because poor literacy also involves not knowing what words mean.